NVDA, looking at the Tesla as well, guys. Looking at Tesla off about 1.3%. We're looking at some potential pickup zones. Let's go the classic mode here in terms of our retracements from the low to high. Let's take a look at the low to high, and we're kind of in no man's land on NVIDIA, just so that you know. We're near the green buy line on the 4 hourly without a doubt on NVIDIA, just to let you know where we're at, okay? Near that green hourly buy line on the 4 hourly. Easy for me to say. Good morning, hope you're doing well. The specific level in question right now on NVIDIA, the key central question is going to be over or under today, under bearish on the specific 20 moving average. That's going to be your level in play as we open underneath that 20 moving average. That's the key focal on the daily. Pay attention. We're already off 4.67%. We will need to get some big momentum to the downside if we're going to see the bears reinforce the specific 20 moving average. We know this is going to be a critical level to look at today. Let's go to Tesla real quickly. A great day yesterday for Bitcoin. Congratulations to everyone who traded. This is London, former hedge fund owner, private, not SEC, not financial advice. Great day for Bitcoin yesterday. Great volatility. We love that volatility. Bring us more in terms of volatility. Take a look at Tesla. Right now, let's go ahead and look at the specifics for where are we at, particularly Tesla. A little bit of a different dynamic, not down as much, 1.5%. We are pushing down below this level of support. Essentially, let's say pushing into that lower level of support for Tesla. Looking at the pickup, in terms of that pickup, Tesla has done a number now on into the specific red fire sale line below. Let's identify what we are below and where we may be pushing further beyond the hourly. Right now, the hourly, okay, specific lower pro line is picking up for flash trades on the open. Guys, it's 4 minutes into the open. We had a bit of an aggressive open here in terms of NVIDIA. Again, NVIDIA is paying to the downside. Let's check this out on NVIDIA. This is a nice move. If you caught this short down and under, NVIDIA is moving. You can call that if you were the bear, guys, that took this trade underneath the 20 moving average and decided to push down. It is flexing. That's a nice trade. Congratulations to anyone who decided to structure into that under the 20 moving average, but boom, nicely done. Let's look at some additional levels on and what may be a key consideration as we're looking at Tesla. What's the main pattern in play? Let's go to some pattern dynamics on Tesla as we watch some flex and some early trades on Tesla. And guys, remember, we're into the volatility. You trade, we'll let you know how it goes. This is a delayed stream, certainly not meant for live trading. You guys know that, beyond not being financial advice. It's 8 to 10 seconds behind, not meant for, not intended whatsoever for live trading. You all know that. So looking at the specific weak right shoulder in terms of the essentials here, the componentry, we'd like that left shoulder head. That right shoulder is just a little bit soft there. So this is the element in play on the 3 minute for Tesla. Yeah, the 3 minute. Take a look at the 5 minute for Tesla. Just a soft right shoulder, we have to say. Looking at the volatility for NVIDIA, certainly what we would say is, and let me go ahead and take a look at concern of higher rates creep back in. The name of the story this morning is there's a fear over higher rates creeping back in, okay? This is what we've got. Let me read a bit of this. Rising yields have pressured the broader market in recent weeks. Bank of America results also exceeded expectations. Today's moves follow a strong stock session. Stocks opening lower. Let's see equities. The three major indexes open lower as Tuesday's session kicked off. And let's see, USB says recessions ending. What do I have here that's important? Retail sales rise 0.7% in September. Stocks making the biggest moves before the bell. Lockheed Martin drops after keeping full year expectations the same. Copper hits 2023 low. Investors parse Goldman Sachs earnings. Okay, Goldman Sachs flickered as investors react to the bank's latest earnings report. Let's take a look at, guys, in terms of the details, in terms of this, I'm getting just a general from CNBC. Stocks fall as concerns over higher rates creep back in. It's quite a watershed event to look at this downside action on NVIDIA. And yeah, just to say, well, it's just a concern, this and that. We don't have any major catalyst that I can immediately see on the markets. Just to give you some sort of a heads up, we don't have any immediate catalyst. We really don't. So that's going to be just noted, guys. We have a nice gap up and above, without a doubt, in terms of that specific open. And just looking at the lower band right now, let's take a look at that lower band in line with, if we draw the low to the high retracements right now. Essentially the flex that we got below that 20 moving average on NVIDIA down to the downside in terms of that short level. That specific flex is down into that golden pocket area, okay? It's gonna be confluent on the 4 hourly with that green buy line, okay? So a little bit of a push this morning. Nice gap. We like the gap, don't we? We like the gap, a target up and above, and that may be for today, tomorrow, maybe for next week. But looking at that action, guys, that's some nice action on the open. Let me take a look at the chat and hope everybody's doing well. Nice to see some real volatility. We asked for it yesterday, didn't we? What did she do? Market turns around and gives it to us like we meant what we asked for. So to the extent that we are meaning what we say, this is the group, we'll take it. We'll take the drop into the golden pocket. We'll take the push below the 20 moving average. We'll take it. We'll take that golden pocket hit and the green buy line on NVIDIA on the 4 hourly. We will take it. What did we get? We got a quick completion move down to also as we analyze this. Quick completion underneath the 20 moving average on the 4 hourly. That's a hit. Boom. So that's a heck of a crossover. We will all agree that's a heck of a crossover with 5.3% to the downside. Watching that 4 hourly engage. We'll compare that 4 hourly to the daily. You got it right. So the flex down was what? Completion on the 4 hourly because we were underneath the 20 moving average. While we're here, Bear said, let's throw the foot on the accelerator and get down to that lower band. Boom. Engaging and picking up orders while it looks like such an aggressive move. Hey guys, we were stacked around the 434, 432 mark on NVIDIA. True, yes, stacked in this level. Golden pocket, that golden ratio, 61.8 to the 65th percentile. Orders were waiting at the golden pocket, so it looks real severe. All we can say is, hey, we know orders were waiting below. You guys got that right. Now, this gives a little bit of a different dynamic, we have to say. This is a different dynamic than what we were looking at precedingly, but we will agree with one thing. Let me go ahead and we'll just note for the record a little bit of a kernel action here and what paid. What paid? Oh, here we go. Here we go. What paid? Your 4 hourly short on NVIDIA just hammered to the downside. It paid you in 3 days 7% or so. We'll say with a recoup move, how you decided to get in and where. That's fine. But what just paid? What did we talk about yesterday? We all know, everyone knows. The 4 hourly capital control line. Boom. That's the way to open up. That would be 2 days in a row. Multiple days, guys, in succession that we talk about without a doubt, the capital control line. The red feature here, the bears are in control of RSI, stochastic, and MACD. It's not magic. It's not. It's calculative. It's a calculative. Without a doubt, it's a calculative. You all agree? Yes, it's a calculative, highly calculative, high level of proficient mathematics are involved in the calculation of RSI, stochastic, MACD. Essentially, guys, it's a great gauge of your volatility and who has control. Now, the specific, bears are in control on that daily. So nice to see. We have to say, did we? We just went over this yesterday. Did we pay attention to the short on the 4 hourly? Write it in front of your desk. If you didn't do it, write it down in front of your desk in your own handwriting. Please make sure that you will listen to yourself. If you will not listen, guys, we talk a lot here, you know that, but that's the one thing I keep going back to. And as we look at it, it's the one thing you probably want to kick yourself a little bit. Don't kick yourself. Don't do that. But it's one of those things that you're going to look at and be like, I can't believe I just did that again or didn't do that again. So if you're finding issues like that in the market, go ahead, please, and make a good concerted effort in the form of just a note, guys. Make sure you're listening to yourself in terms of that 4 hourly. Let's take a look at the 4 hourly. Let's review on Tesla. You guys want to review a little bit on Tesla? How is a Tesla 4 hourly short? It's hammering down. If you're in a carry position on that 4 hourly, certainly got the big drop win a couple of days ago. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So looking at that, you've got a 5% in a 4-day time period. If it's not satisfying your profit equation in terms of what your demands might be in a hypothetical regard, of course, what we would say is, why don't you redo the mathematics involved with the percentages involved and look at your participation and ask yourself and determine thereafter what would be required for you to satisfy your profit equation, given the fact that your 4-hour capital control line looks to be something that's, guys, I don't want to say you can count on it. Don't catch yourself saying, well, that's something you can count on. That's not the idea, guys. It's not something to count on. It's something to assess always. And we just see the, and I don't want to get off course here, but the earnings coming in on Wednesday for Tesla. You got that right. So 4 hourly lower pro picking up on Tesla. Bottom line, as we look into the features, once again, let's see if I can bring up let's see where we're at. And good morning. I want to say good morning to everybody. We can see here on a multi-time frame situation for Bitcoin, without a doubt, for Bitcoin, the mainstay, the King Daddy in terms of volatility. What has picked up well? What's traded well after we just skyrocketed to the upside? We went over the measurements yesterday in terms of that 50% target to the upside. Mind yourselves, that 50% maximum fractional probability completion to the upside. Very well done. Please review the first 2 minutes of yesterday's video to see how that 50%, the maximum probability, came into the equation. The 200 weekly right now, you guys got that. That 200 weekly has been a nice level to hit, 1.5%. A nice level upon which to re-engage for the traders. Really, we have one hit, a little bit of frustration here until we got up and over. What was the dynamic here as we look at Bitcoin? Guys, we love trading Bitcoin. True or false? We love it. The volatility can knock it out of the park. Knock it out of the park. We love those 10% days. We love those 15% days, if and when we can get them, right? Looking at the 2.42%, yep. Looking at it, really we're going to have a hit here. We'll call that 2.42%. We'll call that 1.68%. And we will call this a specific re-hit here in process. Okay, as you look at the multiple hit considerations after your specific launch to the upside. You guys, looking forward to watching your trade tactics develop in this incoming year, but that doesn't mean we don't need to focus on just knocking the lights out in the fourth quarter. We got to knock the lights out in the fourth quarter. It's big time. It's like playoff time, right? It's a championship game coming up in December, pretty much. It's going to be nice. Taking a look at the taking a look at the multi-time frame. I want to see these multi-time frame specific levels that are in play that I've got crafted out here. Let's go back to, and let me just check on Tesla real quickly as I look at the specifics. Let me go from Tesla to NVIDIA. Nice open to the downside. You guys know that, just to reframe where we're at. Big moves for just NVIDIA getting absolutely rewarded. We'd say with a downside move on that hold on the short on the capital control line. It's a doozy, huh? It's a nice one. Nice play. Now you have we'll just say you've barely really captured much additional gain beyond your initial entry here, right? That was a nice move. That day was a nice move. So you'll start to say, well, we've been sideways here on the short, on the 4 hourly for 3 days. Like, yeah, it's fine, but I've got other things to trade. We want to stay busy trading. That's one of the things that you'll look at continually. It's like, well, we want to stay busy trading. We don't want to go sideways. Always going to be a trade-off as you look at your time spent in a trade, right? Are you having flash trades and an accompanying trade? The big question, do you have a flash trade, a higher frequency trade? Look at Bitcoin here. This was Tesla, of course, with that nice move to the downside. And looking at NVIDIA, let's go to that 4 hourly again. NVIDIA with this nice move. That's really the one that did not make you wait sideways, but that really trajectory to just hammer to the downside. Seeing that completion now as we see price just hammering into that 4 hourly standard deviation. We know that we have the fire and ice levels in play. The daily is going to be your question right now. As you guys look at this from a larger carry perspective, it's in everyone's mind right now on NVIDIA, like, okay, we just hammered down through to that lower standard deviation. Some flash trades on the way down here, but as we look at this, really, guys, you don't want to just absolutely call this to the downside, but you have to recognize we've got a target now at $405, $404, $405. Big deal. Now, this is where I want to start digging into the lower time frames. True? Yeah. Want to start seeing what's going on at the lower time frames. What type of patterning are we looking at as we were to look at the preceding framework, let's put this back into a bit of perspective quickly before we go into the lower time frames. What do we have? Yeah, we had, the 38.2 completion on the inverse head and shoulders, but what were we looking at? Ouch. Reminding us that this specific pattern was in play. So NVIDIA bulls parking some orders below, without a doubt. Target hit to the upside on the failed wedge. Nice cap line action on the 4-hourly. Could it have been much better? Not trying to be overly dramatic on it, but could it have been much better? Parked in a short on the 4-hourly. We talk about it. We keep talking about it. Congratulations to anybody who did it, who hit the button. Boom, nicely done. Daily. Now, in terms of the daily, can we hit, as NVIDIA is shedding 7% right now? Looking at this, if you engaged in a nice short here on the open, you've done pretty well. Congratulations if you decided to go short underneath. On your trades, going to encourage you continually to look at your stop losses. Make sure your stop losses are engaging. Make sure that you're, I'm going to say this, that you're well structured in terms of your specific trades. Let's go into the lower time frames. Let's see if we can get into the lower time frames. Let's go into the, let's slice and dice into these lower time frames to see where we're at in terms of some of these pattern formations that are currently ongoing. Let me clean up this just a bit. Nice to have some action in the morning. We always love this action, this level action in the morning. We will take it. I want to see where we're at in terms of, and really we're just on a pour down, aren't we? We don't have much going on at all. If we want to start looking into lower time frames, the second, the 5-second, looking at this specific expansion of volatility, we found it. Agreed? Yes, we found it. We've got a heck of a downside target. Yeah, so in terms of that, if you're picking up long, be prepared to operate at this specific level particularly. The market's taking note of this in the 5-second time frame. It's not if, it's that they are. Right? Are there any levels in this zone that would, let's see if we can find an upside target. Let's just see. A lot of momentum to the downside. You're catching the falling knife at this point if we are getting into this to react to the upside. Let me find the specifics here in terms of that upside target. You guys already see it in terms of the specific divergence that we had where people were caught off guard on this specific, and we're going to have to call this a little bit more, probably going to change time frames here. Let's see what that 15-minute has. Let me see what that 1 second. Some tough technicals as we look at this, right? Looking at the dynamics in play, we will be able to call this as an upside target, okay? Given the construction in terms of resistance, support, and bam, down and out. So that caught some traders right off the gun. If you got caught off sides in terms of the move, understand first of all what's critical. We know what's critical, guys. Just stop losses are critical in this game. Without a doubt, in terms of trading, whether or not you're live or however you're approaching your trading game. This is as much on that 4-hourly short. Bravo. Got to say bravo on that 4-hourly short. Anybody who was in to win on that 4-hourly short, boom. Nicely done. Nicely done. Ow. If you didn't, sorry, but that's something we continue to look at. What we're going to say right now is that we have, amidst the drop in momentum, and so flexor on this momentum indicator that's going to be red versus green, we do have an attempt to pick back up to this topside target. You want to talk about a topside target? Good thing about going down is we're going to have some upside targets. We do say, though, that in order to hit an upside target, what do we need to get there? We need a pattern to get to our target. Ideally, you want to maximize your probabilities. Blindly trading in a direction is never the right idea. I was just going to say, from all the years that we've spent doing this, blindly trading in a direction is never the right idea, guys. You always want to have some sort of a probability worked into the equation. Let's back off to the 5-second. Let's take a look at what the market participants are eyeing, and it's going to be this specific volatility expression. Quite a volatility expression. Where are the orders loaded? Along this line. We just know that if you're looking to pick up a nice long, we could be looking at something in this line. We'll back off into, I want to look at that hourly real quickly. Let's take a look at, there we go, hourly, looking at that fire sale line. This is some volatility, calculatively, from a calculative standpoint. This is an extremely aggressive move here for guys here for NVIDIA. Taking a look at this. Shout out to Chris, Land Down Under. What's up, Chris? See your picture up there. 7.23%. That is some nice, guys, volatility to the extent that that was capturable on our cap line. We love that, guys. We love it. If you're picking up on these levels as the volatility is heading to the downside, we can dig into the lower time frames to see how we may be further compromised on attempts to pick up, is what I'm going to say. How we may be further compromised on attempts to pick up, and at what levels you should be prepared to operate as a bull. Just the bottom line. Now, as we were to see an upside target in terms of the specifics here, we'd like to find a flat bottom at least to recover back up into. This is a 7.4%. This is nearly the equivalent payout. This is just something else. We have to note this in terms of the 4-hourly cap line and the governance thereof, essentially the dominance thereof. Let's note that yesterday, what do we have? We had, as a 4-hourly cap line, obliterated the market with Bitcoin. What did it do today on NVIDIA? It obliterated the market on NVIDIA. True? Big time. Big time. This is 2 days in a row. We will take it. We will take it on the 4-hourly in terms of the just the operation of that key consideration and focal that we are continually looking at. We're continually looking to structure in what types of trades would you say? Yeah, potentially larger trades? I would say if you have, and the key dynamic there is going to be on anything that you trade, particularly Bitcoin, right? It's so volatile, but the principles may apply across asset, feasibly, hypothetically, as we would look at back testing, etc. What we would discuss would be what we would discuss is just in terms of a larger potential entry on a primary time frame. Yeah, if you have gotten good with your flash trades, you know what you're doing great, okay? If you can book consecutive trades at lower time frames, it takes a lot of skill set development, you're gonna need a lot of practice rounds, as 100 rounds, etc. As we look at the opportunity to participate at larger amounts of capital, and as you step up your capital considerations and involvement, as you step up your levels of involvement throughout the course of your trading, we've seen it be most effective. And I always say that traders start off on the 4-hourly, start off on the daily, in terms of their 100 rounds. Getting into lower time frames requires a slight level of exposure to where it's not a self-defeating process, right? You have to learn to stack quarters into a dollar before you learn to stack, any other amount of money, let's say $250,000 into $1 million. I will just tell you, learn to stack quarters into a dollar, and I see those guys who are stacking those $250,000 into $1 million. It's the same principle at work. Now, let's dig into, let's look at the following actually, instead of digging into another time frame. It does look like that. I do want to check on that specific level. That's a difficult level just to say calculatively. It should just pour on down through the specific fire sale line. But these are just tough pickups right now as we watch just a grind in on NVIDIA to that specific lower band. If we could get into we have to say, where is the current fire sale parked at the preceding lateral level of support? So let's recap in terms of the opportunity, the trade out that was brought to us today. That opportunity to trade was what? Down and under. You got it, down and under the specific 20 moving average on the daily, and the downside target was noted with orders, essentially, guys, we're just gonna have to say essentially orders that were at that 20 moving average. The potential here, let's just measure from the actual open. We're gonna be in this neighborhood of about a 2 to 3% move past open, if and to the extent that you caught the drop quickly and went with the drop, congratulations. I'll say it would have been much easier to do what? Schedule in on that cap line, big time. In terms of the move, I just hate to see that anyone would miss that type of move. If you caught yesterday and you missed today, hey, that's okay. If you caught yesterday and you missed today, that's okay. If you caught yesterday and you got today, you are superhuman. You are something else. I'm looking forward to spending more time with people that are superhuman like yourself. That's fantastic. It's fantastic. Could you have done it? Could you have done it? Could you have said, well, let's see. Let's take a look at the 4-hourly. Could you have done it? Let's see if we have signal labels, trade zone charts. Let's see what we have here. What's going to require here. This specific transfer of control of the cap line. You got it right. That transfer of control on the cap line, indeed, you would have to have minded this transition on the 4-hourly from the bulls to the bears. Bam. Do we see this with a level of frequency, particularly on NVIDIA? Take a look at the charts. Let's take a look at this chart. Do we see? I'm going to take the Bollingers off. Do we see? I'm going to take Fire and Ice off. Do we see a nice transition and a profit equation on the screen right now based on a kernel calculation, a high-level kernel calculation? I would say that we do. I'd say that we see a nice profit equation enforced for the traders for your benefit. Congratulations to anyone who decided, boom, I'm going to catch 7% today. That's a nice move. That is such a nice move. Congratulations. That's one you. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Seeing that hourly fire sale line, try and reinforce it with some flex potential here. Let's look at the specifics here. Now, this brings up a good question. As we're trying to head to the downside, we haven't covered this yet, so this will be good for us to cover this morning. Looking at the specifics, normally we're going to bring in, if we're operating along a level of support, we're going to bring in a potential dynamic to the downside as a potential level of frustration, right? If the bulls are trying to pick up over and out to the upside, pay attention to this, please. This is a big deal. Please pay attention. If you see some aberrant price action, let's explain it and put it into the trade, just into the repertoire in terms of what we're looking at. Let's say we have an expansion in this zone, and then we're heading down like this. We're going to be paying attention to the channel formation as a potential level of disruption. True? Yes. Now, here we have a lead-in. Okay, we have a lead-in with an expansion in volatility. Okay, from the support, bulls handing back off to the resistance, being the bears, handing back off to the support, being the bulls, handing back off to a level of resistance in this zone. Okay, now we can call this up through that level here. So we have the handoff, bulls, bears, 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we have as a midline interrupter or reinforcement that we note along the bottom formation, but we really haven't discussed it? This is some advanced, more advanced volatility, tactical application that we would regard in terms of taking the top line resistance. We've been very keen on the bottom line resistance up as a hurdle for the bulls. Now let's pull this down and look at a hurdle for the bears. Okay, so just as we like to operate along any type of a volatility expression and expansion like this, where we have a divergent level of support and resistance, right? We want those expanding, right? And we're particular about which types of patterns we want to trade, given their formation. Are they steep and narrow? Are they broad, right? And a bit more shallow, right? As we were to look at this, we're keen on the fact that if the bulls get down into this level of the equation, that we're going to need to be cautious as this hurdle along that volatility expression were to express itself. Now we're looking at the opposite, wherein the bears need to be cautious, trying to push price down with an equivalent, resistance pull down parallel to support within the dynamic of the specific volatility expansion pattern. We agree? So we've covered it from the downside up, giving the bulls essentially the level to beat. Now we're covering it from the top side down, providing the bears with the framework of what needs to be beaten. You see that, okay? And bulls are essentially helped with this parallel carry down. Bulls can be helped in carrying it down to where? To this level here. And with the parallel line across the top, I'm carrying it down to my pivot sequence here. Boom, boom, okay? So this is assistive to the bulls. The other framework can be very assistive to the bears, to the extent that we can get the bulls down in this zone along with this volatility, okay? Now, there are other ways that you can approach this, and we haven't gotten into this, but if you were to look at some different bull-bear componentries involved in your volatility expressions, one day we'll automate all of this, okay? I just tell you, one day we'll have all this automated. You can just look at your screen and have this at your disposal just automatically. All this just volatility expressions just flying up. What I'll say is these are potential dynamics for bull and bear consideration as you look at your, we'll call it as it is, as you look at your pitch fan, okay? So within that dynamic of the parallel support carry down feature in the volatility that is in play, looking at the catch on the specific parallel carry down, resistance to support is an important step forward in our analysis of the volatility equation today. We agree? Yes. Okay. That is just on point today as we look at the opportunity to capture additional volatility to the downside in the form of pickups below for bulls or bears trying to get through those levels. Bears just, the bulls had something to work with. We agree? Yeah, bulls have something to work with. It's still dangerous, guys. A lot of momentum to the downside, but bulls having a crutch here in terms of the potential pickup, and saying that we're on that mid-level is a little bit less, let's say that it's reactive, that it's likely to be reactive. We can make that generalization, but I want you to look at the framework of your parallel carry downs, either assistive to the bears if bulls are trapped below, or assistive to the bulls, okay? So either assistive to the bears and working their way down, or assistive to the bulls as a catch potential, and guys, really providing the hurdle to the bears. You guys got that. Review this to the extent necessary. We're seeing, in terms of the pattern in play required, we can call this. I think we should go ahead, and I've stayed away from this because we've looked at how the bull journey could be made difficult if operating in a channel to the downside. Today we're covering the opposite, that the bearish move to the downside could be compromised by that parallel carry down in this zone. We identified clearly the volatility expression, support, resistance, right? Multiple hits along support and resistance. So to the extent that that volatility expression is in play, what we want to say is the key consideration this morning, just absorb this, take this in. The key consideration this morning as we discuss what is going on your screen. What are you looking at? How can you apply this to your next level trade? Looking at that specific target in play, we're seeing the target hit, which is again descending wedge divergent. We have a divergence of price line to pattern expectation. Expectation on a descending wedge would be to go to the upside. So we have a price line, okay, meaning the price line is down, price line to pattern performance expectation divergence. True? Yes. So when we see such a divergence of price line to pattern expectation, we should have gone up by the probabilities. We're going to target this level. What do we always say? We need a specific pattern to get us to our target. So when we look at this today, what was our pattern? Well, we would have loved to have gotten a lower entry period. We would have loved to have gotten that dig. It would have been a little supernatural. 7% already. It was down. We were down 7% on the day. Would have been a little supernatural. Really, it would have been odd, we have to say, with a 10% move yesterday on Bitcoin. If we were to get like a 10% move today to the downside on NVIDIA, very interesting. However, we're in the same patterns. You all appreciate that on NVIDIA and on Tesla. We're in, NVIDIA and on Bitcoin, we're in the same patterns. You see this. Let me clean up some of these moving averages. Let's clean these up. You see this. Let me move some of these off the map here. Taking a look at flat bottom support, ascending line of resistance. What's that? That would be NVIDIA. Let's take a look. What would Bitcoin be expressing? What would Bitcoin be expressing on the macro? Let me go ahead and look at this. Flat bottom. You guys got it right. Flat bottom ascending. You got it. Take a look at the flat bottom ascending. So these two assets, quote unquote, are oddly situated. You see why we pay attention definitely to NVIDIA. You see why we're interested in it. We couldn't stay away from it if we tried. Flat bottom support ascending on Bitcoin. NVIDIA. Flat bottom support ascending on NVIDIA. 10% move yesterday on Bitcoin. 7-8% move today on NVIDIA. What killed it on both moves? What killed it on both moves in terms of you guys got it. You know this. You know the level to look at. I am so excited. That is such good news overall as you look at mastering the market, to have the tools to be able to schedule in and say, yes, I caught it. Yes, I caught it. That is awesome. That makes my week. That is what we are all about in VIP. That's good stuff, guys. And if you didn't execute, that's okay. Work on that execution. You need to work on the execution. Looking at the 200 weekly. Nice to see some reaction this morning on Bitcoin, 5.59% to the upside. Preceding move, we went through these earlier. Just to reframe, 200 weekly moving average is the level in play. It's the level, I promise, guys. in terms of the entirety. I'm promising you this. If you look at the technicals on the entirety of the Bitcoin index and you tell me that there's some other level in play right now, then guys, I promise you we'll have a good discussion. And I just really think I'm going to win that discussion right now. I really do. I promise you that I really believe I'm going to win. Technically, I think you're going to agree. I just promise you you're going to agree. If you look at it, Bitcoin index, the 200 weekly moving average, what else are we on, guys? What else are we on? That's the key consideration. That's the key level to look at. All right? Yes. Let's take a look at the 4 hourly real quickly. 4 hourly now is what? We have something to talk about. A 4 hourly cap line, boom, to the upside. So who's taking control? Now who's taking control? The bears are taking control, right? On that specific cap line. So after a payout like that, you kind of feel a bit tempted to reevaluate, or what else could be going on, right? You want to talk about what else could be happening here. Is it just going to be a guaranteed automatic move? We're going to have another guaranteed automatic payday. You guys know we need a little bit of confirmation. Would be nice. I don't want to back off the notion that the 4 hourly cap line is determinative. Now, to the extent that you can get up and over the cap line, that you can trade bullish over and bearish under, that's how the cap line flips. Okay, that's how the cap line flips the signals. So a little bit of a nuance there. Bullish up and over carried you 13%, bam, on Bitcoin, caught this huge move. You see that? We maintained here, then we flipped. So bears have taken control of this level. Those of you who trade the cap line more frequently, you know, without a doubt, you know. Good morning, London VIP, 4 hourly cap line. Yes, indeed. Venus, nice to see you. Morning, nice to see you. I know, Venus, you love capital control line. It's just awesome. That cap line, it's just it's a rock and roll feature. VIP. Told you guys, instead of handing out bottles of champagne in VIP, I don't think there's any other VIP like this, guys. I want instead of the Dom Perignon, sir, you have ordered the Dom Perignon. The whole case? No, sir, we only have one bottle, right? Well, okay, then I'm leaving. You don't have the whole case of Dom Perignon. Well, I'm leaving. No. Instead of the bottles of champagne, I want to give you guys charts and technical levels to look at, right? Then you do well, you go get that champagne. That's the idea in terms of the VIP. What's going on? So looking at a retraction, let's go back to NVIDIA. Let's see what's doing well. What was it that the market just wasn't going to go with today? We weren't going to get to, guys. We just weren't. We're holding the green buy line, noted on the 4 hourly, right? And honestly, it's just that specific buyer sale line on NVIDIA. They're like, okay, this is kind of like the max that we're willing to push on that hourly. Nice to see it. Nice to see that level of engagement. What do we still have now that's being assessed? Nice rebound, nice flex move here, right? Nice analysis here. And I'll just say, if you were waiting for entries along below here, you'll never look at this pattern again, which is something that we need to be able to say with some frequency. I don't want to overly complicate it because you're working on identifying these right now. You understand? I see you all, and you're working on identifying levels, let's just say levels of expansion between the bulls and the bears, and working on trading, guys, the top pattern in the market. It just is. We're attracted to, you know this, we're attracted to volatility. We want volatility. Really, we want that 8% move to the downside. How does it express itself in terms of maximized probabilities with the specific expansion, right? The volatility is the operation of bulls and bears, right? With an expanding, right? We want expanding, descending, let's say a compromised expanding and descending demand function between the bulls on support, bears on resistance. That's what we want. So seeing a nice crawl up through on NVIDIA. Surprise drop. Nice drop. Paid short under. Bam, on the daily. Just note such. And guys, we almost just need to call it early and just be like, that's the way to trade. Way to trade on the 4 hourly. For anybody who caught this short and said, yes, I'm going to be short on that cap line, bam. You hit that trade like a pro. I'm going to tell you, if you don't think you hit an 8 or 9 or whatever your percentage was here, trade on NVIDIA and held through that, yeah, come on. I will introduce you to, personally, traders right and traders left all over the map, pro labeled at almost whatever shop you want me to introduce you on to who didn't catch that move. Deal? I will personally introduce you to traders, okay, individuals at a pro level who didn't catch this move. All right? I'm going to introduce you to them. If you think that it's just another trade, that's a big move. Boom. Big trade. All right? And there's some other shop, I don't know, does Schwab have in-house guys? I don't know. I do not know. I hate to say I don't care. I don't know if Schwab has in-house guys, right? Either if we're looking at if we are looking at some kind of I'll bring you either current or former, some BlackRock guys. I'll bring you current, former JP Morgan guys. I'll bring you current or former guys, you name it. Okay, you name it, I'll bring them to you. Deal? If you caught that move and you don't think it's a big deal on the 4-hourly cap line, let me introduce you to some people, period. If you want to meet them, we can, but if it's the sole purpose of you knowing that you caught a trade that they didn't catch, okay, I'll give you the phone number right now. Okay, look, but if that's the sole purpose for you meeting them is to confirm that you just caught a trade that they didn't catch, why are you catching these trades? Why are you catching them? You're putting in more effort. I just promise you that. And I'll probably, we're going to make that distinction unless someone's programmed out the guys at a hedge fund level, near hedge level, in terms of catching large moves. You're spending the time right now. I see there's a componentry, there's a little bit of a relaxation that you're going to get when you have, I note this, and it's kind of nice. It is kind of nice. You have to understand the Cush syndrome. Well, we got a kind of cush first-rate job here. We got a kind of a relaxed, no big deal in terms of I got the corner office, man. I got a secretary in a corner office. You get into this and it's like, well, I work with such and such. You get into that, you're hungry, all right, and you're trading what you want to trade. I say that all the time. So you're hungry, you're spending time in the market, you're trading what you want to trade. That's your advantage in the market. It's not to dismiss or dispel or speak poorly of BlackRock or JP Morgan, any of these guys, any trade desk guys. That's not the point at all. But you're spending the time. Look at the technicals on your screen. Okay, for the majority of the technicals on the screen, you understand the tactics involved between a cap line, between a 20 moving average, over or under. We're using some of the same expressed framework that Wall Street traders are trading on, but you don't necessarily have the cushy corner view office, the cushy secretary, the cushy, I'm just going to go to lunch early. It's Friday. I'm tired. It's Thursday. It's been a rough week. I'm going to lunch early. I'm going to bill it to the firm. I'm going to, whatever those guys, those relaxation, those opportunities to relax may be, you're hungry. So I'm going to encourage you to stay hungry. Right, as we talked about and so it's like, well, maybe if I had the limo waiting outside, if I had the BlackRock, town car waiting outside, I also might be a little bit more relaxed, right? We'll give it to them. Yeah, let's give it to those guys. So, and I don't want to introduce you to them. This is a long story short, just finding some conversation here. But as we talk about it, I'm not going to just introduce you to them so that you can know that you're trading better than they are. Those guys got to watch it, because you guys are hungry. You're paying attention. You're developing your skill sets. You're putting time and energy into the development of your trading in terms of your setups. There's a 5-second on NVIDIA. You're crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's where they need to be crossed and dotted, and you're doing really well. You're doing really well. So it's exciting. I'm going to brag on you guys as much as I can without throwing those guys under the bus. I don't think I mentioned Morgan Stanley at all. You guys are doing great over there. Congratulations. They're not trying to catch these trades, okay? Well, never mind. We're just going to talk about the fact, nothing but respect. How about that? It's going to be Q4, nothing but respect. Hey, we got nothing but respect for those guys. Sounds good, huh? Sounds good. Nothing but respect. And I have, guys, nothing but respect for you. You know that in the context here, I'm just excited you're doing well. So that's our new mantra, Q4, nothing but respect. Hey, big shops, the small shops, whatever we got, nothing but respect. Now, trying to squeeze in on this 5-second a little bit as I'm hunting for a pattern to work with. Do we have it? We got it. It's close enough, guys. Bulls have an opportunity to pounce up and over on this specific equation. Let's dig in away from this and give this a second to traject. What are we going to be wary of? Well, we're going to be cognizant of any type of a move down and below that 433. What a shot. What a shot, huh? On NVIDIA. Guys, we're going to just go ahead and call this. We're focused on the right assets overall. Bitcoin, top dog. Period. In terms of volatility, we love it. But looking at that pickup on the specific fire sale. It's a nice fire sale. Pushed around quite a bit. It's a reason to be involved. A fire sale line on the hourly, it just is. You had to choose not to be involved. Please review the framework of the volatility expression in the parallel channel carry up or carry down. Again, while you're working on identifying the specific volatility patterns, I'm going to tell you that I'm not overly keen on complicating the situation too much, too quickly. Okay, I want you to be able to identify the patterns in play without a doubt. Okay, I want you to be able to structure into kind of an appropriate development cycle as you were to look at your participation in the market, right? That's just important for me for that to be in effect. Now we're looking at, and we knew that this is an issue as we look at the weekly cap line on NVIDIA. This has been in play for how long? We have to look at this, and we're challenging this level. And it's been around for like almost 3 months, almost 4 months. Yeah, almost 4 months, over 3 months, over almost 4 months is the bearish notion on NVIDIA that we're not completely tapped out. Remember, we got up and over that specific ice cold short line here. Yeah, but that was a nice push at this level, ice cold short on the weekly, seeing a re-engagement. Where? Seeing a re-engagement at that cap line on the weekly. We're noting the weekly because the weekly was also the low on the green buy line on NVIDIA. Just pay attention to the volatility. What the volatility gives us is an excellent opportunity to work our technicals into the equation, to talk about, guys, we can only have so many patterns on Bitcoin alone. Only so many patterns, let's say that we could maybe multiply by 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe more if we get increased volatility on the open of New York. That's why we're plugged into it, and I'm excited to the extent that you're learning that the market can be yours to the extent that we're respectful of it. And what was it? Nothing but respect. We got nothing but respect for all those other traders and all those pro shops and otherwise. Nothing but respect. We concur. That's the way to be VIP. Now, and if you want to meet some of those guys, huh? That'd be cool. You guys maybe keep your what do you guys keep your hand close to your vest. What do they say in terms of like if you're playing poker or something, you keep those cards close to the vest, okay? In terms of that, maybe another reason not everybody's just catching all these moves. You guys are catching them. We keep those hands close to the vest, right? Those cards close to the vest, right? Meaning you're at the poker table, you guys got it, right? You understand, huh? You keep those cards close to your vest. You know, that's an old saying, I think maybe from Texas or somewhere, but you don't just play those cards, you just show them to everybody at the table and let them outplay you. So we have a limited seating only. You guys got that in VIP without a doubt. We have limited seating only, right? So that's part of it as well. So we got to say nothing but respect. Good stuff, and I'm glad that we covered that. And guys, these guys, I'll give them a hard time in person. You have no idea, and I'll buy them a box of Cohibas. Right? That's the way I am when I do well with these guys. I may trash talk a little bit here and there. You don't know who I am. They know who I am. So the fact that I would speak this way about them, just so that you know, they also know me as, oh man, he's gonna buy me a box of Cohibas. No, he does well. He does well, and that's how I show him. I'll buy him a big box of Cohibas. Right? That's just how I am. So, and they know me as such. So there is no bad blood. Just so we know, nothing but respect. There's no bad blood at all. It's a very well cultivated, highly respectful, and real kind of competitively celebratory kind of friendship environment that I operate. Definitely in line with VIP. Definitely in line with VIP. So looking at NVIDIA, we got to pick up on the specific fire sale. Laid into it. Did you lay into it, guys? Laid into it. What are we doing now? What are you doing? What is this? Don't tell me Tesla just decides to pick up. Man, look at that 4 hourly. Boom. Into it. Into the 4 hourly. Completion on the lower band. Yikes, guys. Yikes. That's a power move, huh? Also hitting that 6 hourly. Tesla recouping. Tesla almost getting back down into the level of support. Now this one, we're going to have to call somebody on this. This is a little bit, guys, this is the same dynamic in play. We're going to see and measure if it's the same dynamic in play, and indeed it is. So we're always cognizant, nice reinforcement by the market as we're looking for the expanding volatility. What do we have? Channel work. So that channel work needs to continue, needs to be definitely expressed. Do we have any upside target? You know this. Do we have any upside expansion or any upside target? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. That's close. Close up along the top. Bull flag, take your parallel channel tool. Take your parallel channel and draw it down. Real close to just a nice failed flag along the top. We agree? Remember yesterday we didn't have the breakout. We talked about being in a trade overnight. We were at a preceding level of support here. This is a second retest at this level. You could have said, well, I think it's going to bust because X, Y, or Z. Right, boom, boom. To the downside, because we've hit it, say, twice, we could say, well, we're expecting it to bust to the downside. I feel that the market provides the opportunity to trade on the open without having to sweat pre-market pricing, etc. I think you guys will agree. So to the downside, we went again with that parallel carry down feature. Let's just note such. Let me back out. We have a few patterns in play here. Earnings upcoming. We got this in terms of Tesla. Earnings upcoming tomorrow after the bell. What does that mean? Well, that means that you've got some uncertainty in the market. True? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got some uncertainty in the market. What are we trying to formulate here? What's trying to hold? Well, we're trying to pick up now back into and potentially express, as we look at potentially expressing, right, with that weak right shoulder. Remember that weak right shoulder we looked at? You got it. Trying to pick up now, if we can pick up in this zone, where's our target? You got it. You got it. Got it. Here we go. Up along the level of resistance. That's going to be a target for us in terms of the bulls. If they can hold this level, not crazy about the head and shoulders. We would concur. We agree, right? We discussed it in just a light right shoulder, right? Let's clean this up just a little bit. But a light right shoulder, nice left shoulder, head. This is a light right shoulder. We want that filled out and semi-symmetrical. It certainly would be defective. So to the extent that we see a pickup in this zone, yes, pickup in this zone, looking for the opportunity to have level of support resistance. And now we're starting to look like we could either formulate a nicer right shoulder, potentially. You got it right. Bears are dreaming of a nice right shoulder. Bulls are dreaming for a return to the level of resistance across the top. It's the way the game goes. Now, as we look at the incoming earnings, you guys do not know what they are. If you did, it'd be operating likely illegally in the markets. Okay? So that's the indecision that we are faced with managing, right? It's the indecision we're faced with managing. And I would just expect for the unexpected. That's the best way you can look at an earnings situation. We will identify between now and then the extent to which we have any really dominating technical features to consider that, like, irrespective of an unknown being interjected into the market, we have to consider X, Y, or Z. We'll definitely do that, okay? You know that. We'll definitely do that. Taking a look at the, let me see here. We'll take a look at this in a moment. In play, 5 minute, we concur. 5 minute, okay? Nice flip over cap line, reinforced as support, boom, boom, boom. On the 5 minute, if you're on your lower time frames, remember, I know you all have multiple screens up at multiple times, guys, or all the time. We're able to kind of hunt and peck back through the specific multi-time frame approach as best as YouTube would allow us to do in line with TradingView. So multi-monitor setup, we are very keen on such. I just want to congratulate anyone again. If you hit back-to-back days on Tesla and on NVDA, you're doing really well. And always stay humble, guys. You know that. I'll just say at some point it's like you do well enough, and I bring up the example with the other guys with JP Morgan and whatnot that we give a hard time to, or they know me. I'll give them a hard time and I'll show them some secret in the market. Like, you guys never paid attention to this. I did. I had too much time on my hands. When I was in high school, look at this. They'll listen. They'll all huddle up around the table, guys. They'll be, hold on, come on. They want to see it, I'm telling you. They're like that. It's good stuff. But what I'll say is, but take away from it, it's like, well, something nice, big trade. It's not bragging if you're buying a box of Cohibas and you're sitting down and having some Cohibas and say, oh yeah, we did great. Oh yeah, we're excited. Oh yeah, it's a great year so far, and we just you know, it's good to know you. Appreciate everything, all the input, everything else. That's the way to be with your friends, okay? With other people in the market. That's the way to be. Let me buy you a box of Cohibas. I want to shout out to J Mac. He's a cool guy here in VIP. That's just what I would recommend you guys. How you handle your success, stay humble. And some of those guys have the best. Just tell you, some of those guys, it's not about the next right or wrong trade or exactly the philosophy, but I'll just say that they're very grounded in terms of staying humble in the market. And there's a good way to do that and interact and have a great time. And I look forward forward to more, easy to say, forward to more of that in the markets as we were to expand our scope in and beyond 2023 Q4 into 2024. So let's go get some boxes of Cohibas. That's the idea. Let's do well enough, and you get those guys rooting for you. It's like, hey, we want those. We want to sit down and smoke those Cohibas. Nothing wrong with that. It's good activity time. I'll just tell you that it's good between guys and gals sometimes. Looking at the push up and guys into the specific trade engaging on that 20 moving average on Tesla. And just kind of reframe as we have Q4 incoming and we want to do really well. We'll start talking a little bit about what that is to look like you're doing well. Because it's not just I booked a trade, I booked another trade, I booked another trade and another trade. I mean, no, that's part of it. A lot of the relationships that are in and around your trades can speak volumes about, again, what are the goals? To enjoy the market and enjoy your profits in the market. It's part of enjoying your profits in the market. That's going to be my overarching goal as we look into 2023 Q4, guys, and then 2024. It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it. Get that vision together. In terms of maybe even some people you want to meet, you want to hang out with from some of the top shops. I've got Rolodex. If you guys want some, some Cohiba time, we'll make it happen. I promise. Okay. I want to talk to the guys from BlackRock, or I want to talk to the guys from JP Morgan, or I want to talk whatever it is. We'll have some Cohiba time, okay? In terms of that, there's no problem with that. If you guys want that, and yeah, just like you're spending more time on the fine tooth, guys, the micro technical analytics. You guys are sharp. I'm gonna get the hats off to you all, but you're sharp, okay? You're sharp traders. Love it. You're sharp. You know this. You're sharp. Okay? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So are they. So maybe we'll have some Morgan Stanley guys in or something fun. Maybe we'll do some sort of a function or party or something. We'll get something going on in. Let's do it in 2024. Let's figure out when that makes the most sense. But let's make that happen if we can catch some big trades and continue to catch some big trades. I'll just tell you guys. Congratulations, first of all. Let's stop it there, and I'll congratulate you. They just got on the map for some reason. I don't know. They did, and they have been for a while. We've had several in our group directly, prior, current, pro level, executive level, et cetera, with some of those top outfits, current or past, et cetera. We just have had them. And to the extent that they've done well, flourished, made some critical moves themselves, or are here or not, and still a part of the residual kind of fallout community. I just say that our old, used to be VIPs, I just want to shout out and say, hey, we'd love to hear from you again, irrespective of what's going on. The world's in a situation, we'd love to hear from you, see how you're doing. You can know how to contact me over on Twitter and over on X. And this is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. Pay attention to one thing on volatile days like this. Mama always said there'd be days like this, and yeah, you may learn that they're not all just easy, right? In terms of the 4 hour of the cap line, way to trade. In terms of the pickups, a little bit stressful picking up on something like this. You guys know that. A little bit stressful. It's easy to say, yeah, but we cleared 2.18%. That fire sale doesn't feel so friendly, does it? Get those hands sweating, huh? Fire sale. Who has a fire sale line? That would be us. We have a fire sale line. Tell that to anybody. They're going to tell you, oh, you need to get out. There's a fire sale. You need to get out. I'm like, what? Come on. No. It's a fire sale. Man, we're buying everything. We are buying all of it. It's a fire sale. We got to buy it. It's like, but tell 9 times out of 10 the people who are in on a fire sale, they're like, well, you got to get rid of it. You're gonna leave the market at that point. Like, no, man, we're gonna get everything we can. Let's take a look at this on Boom. Lower pro engage. Looking at that green byline again on the weekly. I just wanted to see how close we were there. That was the low pickup on the green byline there. Let's dig in the back. Let's get into some pattern dynamics. Review to the extent necessary the specific channel feature carried down resistance to support in spite of the expanding volatility. Review such, please. That was a good talk. And while you're working on identifying these patterns, just be prepared, right? Now this is something else. On the 3-minute, yikes. Let's go ahead and draw it. You want something to chew on a video. All right, you want it, we'll give it to you. There you go. Let me pull this feature out. I'm gonna hide the Bollinger Band for a minute so you can appreciate that. I'm gonna hide the cap line so you can appreciate that. I'm gonna hide my fire signal there so you can appreciate that. This is the critical question on, you got it, on NVIDIA on the 3-minute. That is the power play mover and shaker, guys. That's at work right now. You know your levels to watch. You know your levels of resistance incoming. You know the challenges that set against the bull attempt to return to top line. Of course, we'd like that top line to look like this, wouldn't we? You know it. You know it. We'll just bring that up. We bring that up because we evaluate volatility. Not only, okay, we want volatility, we want the assets that are volatile, then we want to participate in the patterns. Well, in that participation in the patterns with the maximum probabilities, we have a preference for how the patterns are structured. That top line resistance, we want it up. We want to recoup back up. You got that right, to a sustainably, let's see, a sustainable or sustainably well-maintained, non-steep level of a recoup in terms of the return to that level of resistance. Here, it's an expectation. As you look at the move down today, could this just flat out explain the move down? Sure. Let's take a look at the candles and see how aggressive it was below such. It's not uncommon. We see this with a relative degree of frequency, true? We see this with a relative degree of frequency. If we're going to park a level right here and say, well, we went down to this line. What was that line? Well, it's a calculative, kernel calculative. Okay, based on a volatility Z-score, RSI stochastic MACD at this level on the hourly. Okay, maybe you would go down there. Yeah, we'd say maybe you would have hit that. Yeah, reasonable. So the 3-minute, as you look at your charts, I can picture the ones of you right now that have this on their charts, but this is what's in play. So as we close out the day, as we look at the recoup for Tesla, was nice. And Tesla was, guys, a recoup, we're down 0.9. Currently down 0.9%. It's a nice recoup on Tesla. Absolutely. We up and over, pushing up and over, trying to get up and over that specific 5-minute, 20-moving average yet again, right? We set up and over. Where are the orders? Set up and over. Well, we're going to get them or not? Irrespective, we know where are they? On the 20. Flip over and engagement, always. You're always going to have the bulls parking underneath. Bam, 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 trying to get that specific value consideration. Does that mean you're out of your trade? That's it. I carried it from here to there, and I'm out, and I got to park it here now. No. You got your carry trades, flash trades, opportunity, trade op along a 20-moving average. Just after crossover, essentially trade op on a 20-moving average. Okay, you guys got it. Upside target, you got it. That's a nice upside target. So we got that NVIDIA expression. Yes, indeed. What do we have on Tesla? What do we have on Tesla? Let's go to the 15-minute. Let's see what we have on Tesla. Let's see if I can clean up this chart just a touch. Good morning. Nice volatility today, period. Nice pickups, period. If you had more below or didn't get in as heavily because we could have gone down, hey, work with that 4-hourly. Please. Work with that 4-hourly, please. Right? That's where the greatness starts and stops, guys. Really, you're going to get into some really advanced stuff, but for traders who are just getting into the game, into the ball game, you got to understand that's where that's where the power moves come in. Really, where the power moves come in. This is going to be tough. We're hunting through the time frames to find something that accommodates us. Hit 1, hit 2, hit 3, hit 4. Yeah, technically, I've got a failed expansion pattern here, which is tough. That's tough, guys. We're holding into, or running into, what a setup. What a setup. Hammering into earnings with this type of a setup is not a delicate matter. You know that. It's not a delicate matter. So we'll evaluate such. Congratulations on your Bitcoin trades. Congratulations on your NVDA trade today. Nicely done. If we can keep showing up, and we have continually, it's just, guys, it's a matter of the calculations involved. If you understand looking at back testing, and it's not like, oh, well, we've analyzed the market and we're smarter than everyone else. It's nothing to do with that. It's just the level of kernel calculation that we engage is a very well respected, high level performing calculation. That's not to say it's I'm going to take something around the track on a pro race course. Okay, I'm not gonna drive a Toyota Prius. Maybe it's a great car to drive around the track, or a Mazda Miata XY version Z, whatever, guys. No, I'm gonna take a proper race car. I'm gonna take one whose engine is calibrated to the curves in the market, the curves on the racetrack, who can handle the G-forces, who has a computer load that can actually calculate and keep me safe on the track. A kernel equation that we would use on the capital control line is a well-calibrated, calculated machine in terms of the market. So you say like a Formula One car has, look at the steering wheel in the Formula One car. Man, right? Formula One car. You guys know this. This doesn't go without saying. I'll probably lose a lot of people if I bring one up in terms of the discussion. Just pay attention to it. Pay attention to the fact that it's highly, there's a lot of calculation involved, a lot of instrumentation. It's a highly precise level of specific equipment that goes into the equation, right? So it's not a haphazard, let's just get on the track and let's go. You get on the track in the wrong car, it's useless to get on the track. Don't get on the track on the wrong car. Make sure that what we have is calibrated. Yeah, so it's not with a haphazard approach that we schedule into anything. That does not exist in our approach to business overall. It just doesn't exist. It can't exist for us to be ultimately as successful as we want to be. That's the bottom line. So we're in a squeeze here, dynamically looking at this specific consideration on Tesla with earnings coming in. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Good meaning we have a decision to make. The bad, we're too compressed here. And the ugly is you really don't want to trade a breakout, do you? Right? So hedge depends upon if we get a volatile move or not. If you can participate and really protect yourself in terms of these are all considerations. You guys give me your considerations. Let's do that. You give me your considerations. I look forward to hearing those from you all in the back. It would be great to hear some input from you all. I've identified this specific pattern. Tesla can throw some gasoline and kerosene, some kerosene on the fire here. We know that. What do you have that's sticking out on this dynamic that we talked about in reverse today, really? And we can let's go ahead and bring this down to this level as a level of reinforcement. Let's bring that down as a compromising feature to our volatility. Okay, it's a competing pattern in the form of a downside channel immediately. That needs to get broken to give the bulls the opportunity to participate on this original volatility equation. Guys, if you got a 75-85% chance of participation to level of resistance, hey, you got a 25 to 15% chance that you're not going, period, right? So, definitely there in some additional levels of consideration in terms of risk exposure. So, looks like a nice internal channel that was just borrowed and broken to the downside from this original volatility equation. As we look at the patterning internal channeling structure here to the upside, here to the downside, you see how those patterns are filling out the specific framework of the overall dynamics in play, being the constriction. You see the pattern to the upside, you got it. You see the specific, we'll draw this out, the specific channel framework to the upside, to the downside, to the upside, to the downside. Okay? You got it. So as we reframe into the volatility expression, we need to break through this level to give the bulls the right to get back up to this level of resistance. We like the volatility. I'm going to hunt these down whenever I can. You guys know that. We love to trade them. Love to trade them. And we pay attention to the dynamics heavily on the assets in terms of how they actually perform. Yes, we're not going to just blindly trade them. We want to know how the assets are treating such. So taking a look at Tesla, down 0.6, and NVDA, both with nice recoveries. Bitcoin kind of stalling along that 200 weekly, expecting such. Looking at the 20 moving average on Tesla, mind the 20 moving average Tesla on the 15-minute time frame. How close do we get to that and the cap line? Reinforceable, guys. 12 cents. If you shorted there, congratulations. That's 12 cents off. You got to play a quarter strong. Okay. Frequently, you got to play a quarter strong on, meaning a quarter, all right, a quarter balance here in terms of a quarter of an engagement of a short. If you're picking up, you guys are privy to such. Let's just take a look at that level of engagement. Really, if you're a quarter off, we got to look at being a quarter off. Are you in the money yet? Yeah, you're in the money. Yeah, you're in the money. You're trading. Just slightly in the money. Pay attention to these levels as a reinforceable flip to resistance, which is already traded. The closer you can get to your target, your tactical target, better off you are. True? Yes. Yes. Look at that hourly. What do we do? Setting up and over on the cap line. Lay these out so that you can see all of them as we talk about the dynamics involved. You see the reinforcement, bullish over, bearish under, but really blue cap line. Nice to see that hold on Tesla today. So amidst the downside price action, just look at the price line. Hey, no problem. We got that one. Just looks easy, doesn't it? That looks easy. That's just a standard pickup on a capital control line here. You're going to see a squeeze here between 20 moving average level of interest for the bears and that cap line, level of interest full and in control by the bulls. Pay attention to your dynamics, your as we were to talk about just your confirmable technical dynamics in play, always. Let's just check in on NVIDIA, which had a nice pickup on that hourly fire sale line. Nicely done. We agree. Nicely done. And really a pickup of over 2.5%. So as we look at the trade day, quite a bit is coming down the line. We'll just continue to appreciate the volatility. 4-hourly cap line has just been great. And we appreciate, well, it doesn't go without saying, we really appreciate anyone and everyone who has allowed or who has made these trades happen. From a technical standpoint, from a pro level office, whether or not they're engaged with our group or not, we just really appreciate those levels on a professional basis of anyone and everyone who's involved in making these trades possible. And I mean that. And if you are in that group, I owe you a box of Cohibas, and we'll sit and smoke them and talk about the market. How about that? This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. Hope you're all doing well. Take care. And in terms of Bitcoin, as we do a final send-off here, we have the blow off top. Everybody agrees. Pay attention to the specific triangulation that is in play as we look at being up and over for a moment here, the hourly 20 moving average and pushing into that capital control line. All right, up and over capital control line at this point. Remember, capital control line can flip up and over bullish. See these riding along the top, just levels of interaction. I'll just say that we would require a breakout in this zone, and we would certainly like to get a breakout in this zone, particularly if we could avoid the preceding blow off top. Not a real great feature that we're going to consistently just be attracted to as a blow off top. As we were to analyze the situation, let's look at the daily real quickly. That daily, the bottom line is going to be this, and I know that when you're in the money, it's not as productive to sit and discuss it, but when we're looking at over and under on the daily, as we're along the top standard deviation line, over bullish, meaning that 200 weekly, under bearish. Okay, it's been the right tactic thus far to produce a nice trade here, give you the opportunity to say, hey, that's cool, I'm fine, that's 6, that's 5, that's 6%, along with your pickups at the lower levels. We're just excited to see the continual expression or the continual, just let's say, technical dynamics in play between Bitcoin, we see the overlap and that similarity with NVIDIA. I'm going to encourage you all to trade the lights out of this market. This volatility doesn't come in all the time. Pay attention. We caught a nice descending triangle to the downside yesterday, didn't we? Just to note such. I think we did. A nice descending triangle to the downside. Not only, what did we have here? This, by the way, was a blackjack. Everybody agree? Without a doubt. That big move to the upside, who blackjacked it? Okay? Double bottom on Bitcoin. This pass through, bam, bam. Double bottom, single pass through, boom. Yeah, blackjack. Rocket to the upside. You got it? That 2-1, double bottom, single pass through. You guys look at throwbacks, pullbacks in terms of that theory as it approaches the market, and just get into it, dig into it, delve into it, see what you think about it. In terms of a double bottom, a single pass through, yeah, absolutely. We had another recovery as such last night, double bottom, single pass through, up and over. There you go. Pay attention to the double bottoms. Single pass through. Who is interested? Typically underneath a descending triangle. Bulls. Bears get all the credit. We're going down. We're going down. Where? To what point? Right? Always look for that level of engagement below. You guys got that right. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. Let's go get it while this volatility is hot. And looking forward to hearing about all your success in the market. Tesla looking like she wants to turn green. Did you guys have that feeling when Tesla dropped today? Yeah, a little bit, huh? NVDA, a little bit more severe, straight out of the starting gate. Bam, didn't give you much time to think except what? Glad that we covered. Bearish underneath the 20 moving average. Flex, big time. It's about where we opened on, it's about where we opened on NVIDIA with the flex of 3+% to the downside. That was a nice move. If you caught a move, flex to the downside in terms of bearish down into a fire sale line and had some exposure there on the way back up, congratulations. You're not going to catch every move. You're not going to. Can you catch most of the moves? Some days you'll catch them all. Those are good days. Appreciate those days. That's what we're here for. In terms of the specifics, have a great day. We will talk to you soon. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. Way to trade the open. Keep an eye on this. Everybody's watching this pattern on NVIDIA. We'll talk to you soon, guys. Great volatility. Take care. Bye-bye.